Look closely at the map of the United States. Memorize the coastlines. Memorize the shape of Florida, the edge of California, the harbor of New York. Because what you are seeing today is not what the world will look like tomorrow. We are standing at the precipice of 2026. For decades, the legendary hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon warned us about this moment. She spoke of a great shift. She spoke of a separation of worlds. But she also spoke of something far more physical, something that until now we have been afraid to look at directly. She saw a new map. A map where the waters had reclaimed the lands of old karma. A map where the centers of power had shifted. For years, we focused on the warnings. We focused on the kill zones, the areas destined for cleansing. But as the timeline accelerates, as we watch the weather patterns of late 2026 defy all scientific models, millions of you are asking the same urgent question. If the coasts are falling, where will we stand? Where is the solid ground? Where is the ark? Today we are not here to spread fear. We are here to reveal the sanctuary. Based on the final most specific sessions from Dolores Cannon's archives and corroborated by the visions of Edgar Cayce and classified remote viewing data, we have identified the 3 specific safe zones in the United States. These are the places that will not only survive the geological shift but will become the crystal seeds of the new Earth civilization. If you are watching this, it is not an accident. You are looking for your coordinates. Stay with us. The map is about to be revealed. Before we name the states, we must understand the science behind the safety. Why are some places safe while others crumble? Dolores Cannon taught us that geology is actually theology. The Earth is not a dead rock. It is a living, breathing consciousness. And like any living body, it has memories. It has scars. The superconscious revealed to Dolores that the great changes we are seeing now, the earthquakes, the rising tides, are a form of planetary exorcism. The Earth is shaking off the heavy, dense energy of the past. The coastal regions, specifically the East Coast and the West Coast, are heavy with the karma of Atlantis. They carry the vibrational memory of the misuse of power, of greed, and of destruction. That is why they are volatile. The land itself is trying to cleanse the history. Let's look at the data from late 2024 and throughout 2026. It is not a coincidence that the insurance industry, the most risk-averse industry on the planet, has effectively abandoned the coastlines. Major insurers have pulled out of Florida and California not because of politics but because their risk models predict what Dolores saw decades ago. The water is coming back. But there is a deeper metaphysical layer here. Dolores explained that water is the element of emotion. When the collective human consciousness is filled with unhealed trauma, grief, and rage, the Earth mirrors this with floods and tsunamis. The coasts are where the densest populations live, often trapped in the rat race of the old matrix. This concentration of stress creates an energetic heat map that attracts storms. The safe zones we are about to discuss are not just geographically stable. They are areas where the collective stress is lower. The population density is thinner. The psychic noise is quieter. This allows the Earth to remain calm in those specific pockets. But the safe zones are different. These are regions where the karmic load is light. These are places that sit upon massive natural formations of granite and quartz crystal. Why does this matter? Because in the new Earth, frequency is everything. Quartz is a stabilizer. It anchors high-dimensional energy. When the rest of the grid becomes unstable, the land sitting on top of these crystal shields will hold firm. They will be the eyes of the storm. So where are they? Let us open the dossier. The first safe zone is the Ozark Plateau, specifically the mountainous regions spanning Arkansas and southern Missouri. For many, this comes as a surprise. Why Arkansas? According to Dolores' sessions and confirmed by modern geology, this region sits atop one of the largest, purest quartz crystal deposits on the planet. Mount Ida, Arkansas, is known as the quartz crystal capital of the world. But the superconscious said it is more than just a mine. It is an ancient Atlantean generator. Let's go deeper into the mystery of the crystals. Science tells us that quartz is a piezoelectric material. It can store and transmit energy. Your watches, your computers, your phones, they all run on quartz chips. Now, imagine a mountain range that is essentially one giant computer chip. Dolores' subjects described that in the time of Atlantis, these crystal beds in Arkansas were used to power entire cities wirelessly. When Atlantis fell, these crystals were deactivated to prevent further misuse. But now, in 2026, they are waking up. Residents in the Ozarks have already reported strange phenomena. Humming sounds coming from the ground, lights in the sky that are not airplanes, a feeling of intense electrical charge in the air that makes meditation profound. This is the crystal shield activating. It creates a high-frequency dome. Low vibration energies like fear, violence, or artificial weather manipulation cannot easily penetrate this dome. It is like a spiritual force field. If you move here, you might feel a detox period. You might sleep a lot. This is your body adjusting to the intense crystal energy. But once you align, you become a battery of light. In her book, The Convoluted Universe, Dolores described how ancient civilizations used these crystals to stabilize the Earth's grid. Now, in 2026, as the magnetic poles of the Earth continue to shift, these massive crystal beds act as a vibrational anchor. They create a protective shield around the region. While the coastal cities may face the chaos of water and social unrest, the Ozarks are predicted to remain geologically silent. But it is not just about geology. It is about community. Dolores saw that this region would become a gathering place for the healers and the teachers because the water table here is pure. The soil is fertile. It is a place designed for self-sufficiency. If you feel a sudden, inexplicable pull to the middle of the country, it might be the crystal frequency of the Ozarks calling you home. The second safe zone is the high ground. We are talking about the Intermountain West, specifically Utah and Colorado. In the Native American prophecies, particularly the Hopi, this region is known as the spine of the turtle. When the great cleansing comes, when the oceans rise to reclaim the lowlands, the spine remains dry. Dolores Cannon's work echoes this precisely. She repeatedly mentioned that high altitude would be a key factor in the coming years. But there is a metaphysical reason for this safety as well. The Rocky Mountains are huge granite conductors. Granite, like quartz, holds a very high vibration. The energy in these mountains is thin and clear. It allows for a direct connection to the cosmos. This is why so many UFO sightings and contact events happen in these corridors. The Galactics, as Delors called them, are watching over these safe zones. The Hopi elders have a prophecy about the Blue Star Casino marking the end of the Fourth World and the beginning of the Fifth. They have long stated that their ancestral lands in the Four Corners region where Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico meet would be the sanctuary for the righteous. They call this area the place of emergence. Why did the ancients build their cliff dwellings here? Why did they map the stars from these canyons? Because they knew the cycle. They knew that when the great purification comes, the high desert is where the seeds of humanity are preserved. Furthermore, there is a modern validation. Look at where the Silicon Valley billionaires are buying land. Look at where the doomsday bunkers of the global elite are being constructed. They are not building them in New York. They are building them in the remote valleys of the Rockies. They know the science. They know the geography, but what they don't have is the frequency. Dolores warned that buying a bunker won't save you if your vibration is low. But the location itself, the elite know it's the safest place physically. However, there is a specific warning within this zone. While the mountains of Colorado and Utah are safe, one must be careful of the valleys directly connecting to the Mississippi River basin. As Edgar Cayce predicted, the Great Lakes may eventually drain south, creating a new inland sea. So, the guidance is clear. Seek the altitude. Seek the solid granite of the Rockies. This is where the libraries of light are stored. The third safe zone is the ancient route, the southern Appalachian Mountains, parts of eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, and North Georgia. Geologically, these are some of the oldest mountains on Earth. They have stopped moving millions of years ago. They are settled. They are calm. In a world of chaos, this old energy provides a profound sense of grounding. Dolores's subjects often describe this area as the heart center of the new North American map. While the East Coast, New York, Washington, D.C., Miami, represents the head and the ego of the old system, the Appalachians represent the heart. As the systems of the old matrix collapse on the coast, the communities in these mountains will thrive. This region is rich in water, rich in biodiversity, and protected by the dense ancient forests. It is nature's fortress. Let's explore the energetic reason behind this. The Appalachian Mountains carry a strong feminine or nurturing energy. While the Rockies represent the masculine spine, the structure and the mind, the Appalachians represent the feminine heart, the community, and the soul. This is why Dolores saw it as a place of healing. People fleeing the collapse of the logical masculine-dominated systems of the coast will not need more logic. They will need healing. They will need community. They will need to relearn how to connect with the earth. Furthermore, this region has a unique history. It was a place of refuge for centuries for indigenous tribes like the Cherokee and later for settlers seeking freedom. This refuge frequency is embedded in the land itself. It is a place that knows how to protect and nurture. The very air here is different, heavy with oxygen and life force. This is the land that will teach humanity how to live in harmony again. Not through grand technology, but through the simple, profound act of living with the land, not on it. But a warning, this zone is safe from the ocean, but it will become a destination for millions of refugees fleeing the coast. If you choose this zone, you are choosing a life of service. You will be the ones welcoming the displaced. You will be the ones teaching them how to farm, how to heal, and how to live in the new earth way. Now, you might be thinking, is this just the imagination of one woman? If it were just Dolores, perhaps we could be skeptical. But when you overlay her final map with the visions of the world's greatest prophets, the picture becomes undeniable. Look at the map drawn by Edgar Cayce in the 1940s. He predicted the breaking of the West Coast. He predicted the flooding of the East. And where did he point to for safety? The exact same interior regions. We must also look at the future map of the United States by the futurist Gordon Michael Scallion. His map drawn in the early 90s is almost identical to the visions of Dolores Cannon's subjects. Scallion saw the Mississippi River widening into a massive seaway, splitting the U.S. into two separate landmasses. He saw California fracturing into an archipelago of islands. But crucially, he saw the lands of the Ozarks and the Rockies remaining as intact islands of safety. Even the controversial Navy map, a document alleged to show the U.S. Navy's projection of future coastlines, shows the exact same loss of Florida and the East Coast. When the mystics, the futurists, and the military planners all draw the same map, coincidence is no longer a valid explanation. We are looking at a probability wave that is hardening into reality. Look at the declassified CIA remote viewing files from the Project Stargate. When psychic spies looked into the future of the 21st century, they saw the exact same islands of stability in the U.S. interior. Indigenous prophecy, scientific geology, and quantum hypnosis. They all converge on this truth. The map is being redrawn, and the ink is already drying. Now, take a deep breath. I know what you are thinking. I don't live in the Ozarks. I live in New York. I live in London. Am I doomed? The answer is no. And this is the most important part of Dolores Cannon's message. Listen closely. You cannot be in the wrong place if you are in the right frequency. Dolores taught us that the new earth is not a location on a map. It is a location in your heart. She said that a person vibrating at the frequency of love and 5D consciousness could stand in the middle of a chaotic city and be completely untouched. You would be in a bubble of reality. The storm would pass around you. You would be invisible to the chaos. This is the frequency arc. This concept is the ultimate spiritual sovereignty. It means you are not a victim of geography. You are the master of your reality. Dolores often shared stories from her sessions where subjects described this in action. They saw souls in the future walking through fire unscathed. They saw people living peacefully in apartments while the buildings next door crumbled. The difference, the frequency. This is not magic. It is quantum physics. Like tuning a radio, you can only perceive the station that matches your dial. If your internal radio is tuned to 5D, to love, gratitude, and trust, the 3D broadcast of chaos and fear literally cannot reach you. You are in the same space, but not in the same reality. This is the great secret. The safe zones are not just places, they are training grounds. They are energetic amplifiers that make it easier for you to hold the 5D frequency. But the ultimate choice to turn the dial is always yours every second of every day. The three safe zones we revealed, the Ozarks, the Rockies, the Appalachian, they are beautiful. They are supportive. If you feel the joyful call to move there, then go. That is your intuition guiding you. But do not go out of fear. Do not go because you are running away. Go because you are running towards your destiny. We are now in the final days of the transition. The year 2026 will bring changes that we cannot yet fully imagine. The map will change. But you are the lighthouse. Whether you are in a high-rise in London, a beach house in California, or a cabin in the Ozarks, your job is the same. Anchor the light. Hold the frequency. Do not let the fear of the old earth pull you down. Declare it with us now. Write it in the comments below to set your intention for the coming year. Write, I am the safe zone. Let the world shake. We will stand firm. We are the volunteers. We are the map makers, and we are ready. Subscribe to this channel not just for updates but to stay connected to the high-frequency grid we are building together. Share this video with someone who needs to find their sanctuary. Until next time, keep your vibration high.